So, looking at the news today, seeing what's going on, especially since it's Friday, that seems to be their day. They try to, see what's going on to see how they're gonna play with the market and everything today before it closes. As it's Friday of recording this now, I'll probably put it out tomorrow, but curious what they were gonna do, especially for say today their little war powers, whatever they call it, supposed to end today, and they have their May Day thing today. I thought that was the same thing, but it just happens to be on the same day. But their May Day is, I guess, their thing of people not going shopping and work and all that to try and push for change, like messing with the economy and stuff. But go get it, bud. Good job. But yeah, I was curious what they were going to do with that, and of course, from their history show, they try and, always try and manipulate it of, hey, this doesn't count or this counts, or, it doesn't really, imply here because they're trying to go past the, 60-day mark, as every presidency who's done this stuff has used this. Like, I can't remember if Biden was on there, if he did it himself, but I don't know, like Obama's done that, and they used the same, kind of thing, trying to find loopholes. Like, well, it doesn't really count because, it's not considered military hostilities because there's no ground troops, stuff like that. And like Clinton's done it, both Bushes have done it. Like, I guess that looking into it. So, and of course this administration, like Hegseth was saying that, like, oh, it's paused because we have a ceasefire, but there's also people saying who don't think that really it's not in there written anywhere. It's, like most laws in America, they're pretty vague. They're open to interpretation. And yeah, I would argue though it wouldn't count for their ceasefire because they're saying there's it's a ceasefire, so there's no military action, but we're having our Navy blockade their waters, which is an act of war anyway. Like, that would be a military action in my mind. Like, it's like we're blockading, in their area. Like, it's like, yeah, that's a military action, especially since we are using our Navy. Like, so to me, that they can't try and work their way around it. But problem with our government as it is they leave things open to where they can find loopholes for themselves. But if there's someone's trying to find a loophole, that wasn't like the government, they'd find a way to close you down somehow. Like, it's just kind of the corrupt system we have as it is, that, it's when things are left vague and open to interpretation, like, the government will always find a workaround for themselves. But when it comes to like a civilian trying the same thing, they find a way to tighten a noose around you. So we'll see what happens at the end of the day, because it's like 11 o'clock right now. So we'll see what happens by the end of the day with that, because I guess Hegseth's got another meeting today he's got to do or something. And Iran put out I think a proposal for a peace deal, and from when I had read that there's still no response of anything from the administration of what they were going to do with that or what it entailed, which kind of wish they didn't do today. Maybe they should have did it tomorrow after the markets close, just in case they try to use that, say, oh, we're going to look into it, in case that's another thing to try to manipulate the market for them. Like, they probably should have thought about that and like put it out tomorrow on Saturday. So, but we'll see. I have to see how this all turns out. Probably I don't see how long they can. I'm sure they'll drag it out. Like, even if Like, because there's what's that guy, Mike Johnson, was even saying like the war power, he's even trying to claim that the war powers thing doesn't count because we're not at war. It's, so like, so I'm sure even if they passed a resolution to say, it has to stop, like they just keep going anyway. So they'd find some kind of workaround. Like, it's just how people are. And, you get certain people in power, they want to get something done, they're going to find some kind of loophole of some workaround. See how much more of our taxpayer dollars they can waste on nonsense. But yeah. And that gas is kind of still the same as it has been. So it kind of goes up a cent, comes down a cent, like kind of fluctuating, like not much. So we'll see what happens with that. See how they keep up with that to try and keep the prices down. Not much going on that end. Good job, bud. We'll see what comes of that. I guess is all really can do. See if they might even drag this out all the way until the midterms, and then with speaking of the midterms, with the stuff the Supreme Court just did to where they can change the maps again. It kind of seems bad that they, or like, I think it was Mississippi, I think it was, that they said they had already started their preliminaries or whatever. It was going to be like in a week or so that they've put a halt on those until they redraw their maps, which seems kind of weird. And they're like, gonna, from the reports, they're going to try and make it to where there was more Republican seats. So we'll see how the midterms turn out. It'll be funny if they do all these things, are doing these things. There's people speculating, whether they're doing this on purpose to try to, which wouldn't surprise me if that is in fact what they're generally doing. Is, I don't trust any government, but we'll see. We'll see how that works. It'll be funny though that they do all this work and that's what they're trying to do, and then everyone, since everything they're doing is so unpopular, that they still lose the midterms. That'd be funny to me. But I say I don't vote left or right. I don't have any political affiliation because I don't trust any politician. I don't know how people get so one-sided on that stuff. They like, oh, they're bad guys, and you see people on both sides do the exact same thing, and everybody who has that political ideology of backing one side or the other, that they say the exact same thing that the other side did, and they're like, oh, just as back and forth thing, I always find hilarious that people just act the exact same way. They can't really see it's all, two sides of the same coin type of thing. It's like it's all bad. Good job, buddy. So yeah. Other news. I have been doing better at my Vietnamese. I kind of get more into try not to do the too much of that, like everyone says. You gotta learn, you gotta sit there and study the words, you gotta practice grammar, you gotta do all that. But I don't like that stuff, especially for English. I don't think about any of that nonsense. Like, I don't think, okay, this is a verb, this is right, because it's not something you do normally when you're putting a sentence together. That I don't think about it like, okay, my noun goes here, my verb goes here. They got the subject. Yeah, I just, right? Now, and there's been a lot of people I've been watching too, on how to practice languages. A lot of them just say, just practice listening, like just listen and say the thing. Don't worry about grammar as well. Like, it's a waste of time, because it's like, just practice putting languages or sentences together in whatever your language you're speaking, and then check it to see if you're right. And they're like say that's the better way to learn, is just try to make a sentence and then search it to make sure that's the right way. And if not, then you're going to remember, like, oh, okay, I put this word here, it was supposed to go here instead, and you'll actually learn faster that way. So that's what I'm working on now. It's an off day today. I did a new upper body for my chest and tries, a different one, a kind of a mix of my own for my workout stuff as well. And then the next one I'll say will be a full body workout. And then one after that will be my leg day, then the full body, and then actually it'll be my biceps, back and bis. Yeah, I do chest and tries, back and bis, and legs. Well, actually, normally when I used to work out, first day of the week was always leg day. Because, everyone likes to skip leg days because it sucks, because legs hurt like hell if you do them right. So I used to always do leg day first just to get them out of the way. And then, so it's really, I'm on my third workout, as it would normally be for me. But then since the kettlebell training, I do a full body in between them, and I work out every other day. Yeah, I used a 45 for that, and I think it was a pretty good workout because I was sore as hell already after the workout. So I'm still feeling pretty sore today, so I think that'll work. It's not, I think find some more specific muscle focus ones because I'm kind of sore, but it's a light sore. It's not that deep sore of where I got a really good, like, well, I'm going to get, a lot of muscle gain from it, but so I won't build muscle as fast. But it could also be from the other things I do, from the focusing on my nutrition and stretching and all that, and taking these supplements like the BCAAs and all this, supposed to help you recover faster. So maybe that might be part of it too. I don't know. So that's all I got for me going on. I do Monday. I do got an eye appointment that I've been trying to get for years. It's kind of funny. I had actually injured my left eye. If you go back and watch any of my earlier videos, especially when I was talking about some stoicism stuff in my earlier ones, that I'm in the camper, I don't have a contact in. You can see my eyes kind of messed up. I can't remember if it's the iris or the pupil or both. There's some big ass word I can't say. I got hit in the eye with a bungee cord, and so it messed up my eyeball. And there's this surgery you could do that'll fix it, and the VA would cover that, but they're like, they didn't want to pay for that because it was like a $4,000 surgery or something like that. And they always wanted the cheaper option, so they were trying to do these contacts. I'm like, well, my pupil's like messed up, and so it lets in, like, because it won't dilate. I'm like, it lets in light, it gives me headaches. So they were trying to do this contact lens. That's like a color contact lens, and it matched my other eye perfectly. But it came from Europe, and they had like this little shader thing. It's like a little sunglass lens. It was just like this black little lens, circular, with the hole cut out for the pupil. And then like they put that as the base. Well, I had like 3 layers. I had like the contact lens for the vision correction, then that shader, and then the color correction on top of that. And so it was really hard to make. And they kept screwing up somehow. I kept having like gaps in it or something, because when I put it on, I couldn't see anything whatsoever. It's like it would block the sun because it didn't hurt my eye as much, so it kind of did its job. But like, yeah, it just I can never see anything. It's like, okay, yeah, my vision is worse now. It's like I'd rather well just say, like I usually do, wear sunglasses. And so I've been trying to do that. There was like 18 months I spent doing that. It was like 4 or 5. It was 6 lenses. One of them was just a normal lens. I don't know how much that one cost, with the color correction to see how that worked. So the vision correction and the color correction. And I think that was still like $400 lens, but the one with everything on there was like a $1,500 lens. So, you know, there's 4 or 5 of those that they did. So the surgery would have been cheaper, you know, because they couldn't do them right. And then that spent about 18 months trying to do that. And now at this point, where I'm just now Monday being able to go see this doctor to get my go look, see if I can still do that surgery. Hopefully, like, my eye still ain't scarred over or something. So that could be a problem since it's been so long. They may not be able to, because they basically take the color part and sew it back together and then do something to where my eye will look normal. I'll still have, and they correct the cataract I've gotten from the damage. Show you here. If you look, that's why my left one is just, the color's a little darker. This is like my normal eye color. It's just a color correction lens. It's just normal, no vision correction, just to kind of help block some of the shade. It does all right. It's not that great. But so that's something they got for me now, just to help block some of the sunlight comes in. So yeah, I say it's been about 2.5 years altogether now since trying that whole thing, that they're now, okay, well, let's see if we can get that surgery for you. It's kind of dumb that hopefully I can still get it. Hopefully it's like, oh, well, your eye's too screwed up now from scarring and stuff over time that we can't do it now. Right? But knowing my luck, that's probably what will happen. So I'll see you Monday. When I go to the doctor is what they say, which would be great. Just say, even if for fixing the cataract, they put it in like this little tiny lens, like insert it right in my eyeball, I guess. Like, I wouldn't even need that. Like, it's the dang sunlight that comes in that gives me that headache. Like, that's the problem I have. That's why I usually wear sunglasses and stuff. And I was like, because even with this one lens in, like, if they did that color correction lens, I wouldn't even care about it. It's like, if they just simply gave me the shader, that'd have been a lot better, just because I want more of that sunlight blocked out. So go get it, bud. Good job. We'll see what happens with that on Monday. And then, yeah, Monday we'll see what transpires over the weekend. See by the end of the day what they say about the proposed peace deal. I hope that, I kind of really want Iran not to just give in, just to make, it'd make things a lot harder on us, but because they really can't, we really can't do anything more to them, especially since we keep saying, we stopped all their things for their supposed bomb they were going to build. That it's like, oh, they can't do that, and they don't have the uranium anymore. They sent it to China, so there's really been nothing for us to do anymore. It's just that I think that the Trump administration needs them to cave to make it look like they were right to do it. Is my own thoughts anyway. Because from everything it says, they posed no threat to us, like no immediate threat. Besides the obvious things that they do that could be a threat, but like there's no immediate threat, so there's no point in us going there, especially having the service members killed and injured. That, yeah, just because I don't know, my old grumpiness of doing stupid stuff, wasting taxpayer dollars and putting service members in risk they don't need to be in, is kind of, just dumb to me. And so for that sake, I hope Iran just, hey, sticks to the thing, like, you're going to give us everything we wanted. We're not going to give you guys any leeway type thing. But they won't take that, because that's not, it's going to be in their best interest. Or, they're wanting other stuff. There's obviously like, so I don't know. I have to see how that works, and hopefully Monday I can get that surgery. That'll be good, especially just for my eyesight. Going to Vietnam, it'd be great not to have one little less thing to worry about. I reached out to somebody on YouTube actually that is over there, and see if he can give me some information about finding a place over there. That'll be great. And then continue my workouts, and then the end of the month of May here, I'll be able to figure out what's going on with my legal stuff to see if when I can actually leave this area here. And then I got to go to my buddy's place, and he's going to take this camper that I'm staying in. We got a little work to do on it because I had painted it, but some of the paint's coming off because it didn't cure properly or something, I guess. So we're just going to put a rhino lining on the outside and see if we can get that sold. See how much we can get that sold for. I'm trying to get rid of all the debt I have for car loan. I'm going to sell the car, and by the time I sell that car, I'm going to have the money I get from it's just basically going to pay it off. I can clear out that debt, and then I'll have a couple other little loans I have, like small, like little two $1,000 ones, like two separate $1,000 ones. I think it's like $800 and $700 I owe left on those. So once I have all those out, I won't have any other money to pay for. That'd be great. I'll have to see what happens with that. And then Oldest, I got to make sure I get all his stuff set up and ready to go to get over there, because he's going to make sure he's got any of these shots he needs. He's getting a bunch of paperwork done. Apparently they got little passports for animals too, so I got to get him one of those. And then, yeah, that'll be what I'll be working on today. And then trying to do some more of my digital art. Still getting frustrated because I can't, I watch the videos of people teaching it, but they don't really say what they're doing, so I can't quite mimic it. So that's kind of the frustrating part for me. And so I spend more time trying to look things up, trying to figure out how they are doing what they're doing, because they don't say how they do it, they just say what they're doing. So that's all I got on my plate today, and I'll be checking in to see how these small new reports come out and say what's going on. Yeah, hopefully everyone else's weekend is great. Try to have fun and look for some good news. I always look for some good news, happy news out there that seems to be buried by all this doom and gloom stuff. I would appreciate it. Let me know. And again, stay safe and have fun.